More breaking news now coming in. Union Minister has hit out at the Congress party over the storm over the name Bharat. Rajeev Chandrasekhar now says that our country is Bharat. There should be no doubt about this. The Congress has a problem with everything and anything that this government does, is the allegation coming to the fore from the central government. Listen in.
गलत क्या है? भारत हमारा देश का हमारा देश भारत ही है। देखिए, कांग्रेस को तो सब कुछ छेड़छाड़ी दिखता है ना। उनको एक दिन सनातन धर्म को इरेडिकेट करना है, दूसरा दिन कुछ और बोलेंगे। इसमें मुझे कोई नहीं लगता इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम है। भारत का नाम अगर हम भारत नहीं यूज करेंगे तो क्या यूज करेंगे?
Pallavi, my colleague and senior editor, joining us on this broadcast to put this in more perspective. Now, Pallavi, from 18th is when we're seeing the special session being called in. We yet have no details of what exactly is going to be on agenda, but big hints there being dropped by Prahlad Joshi himself. And now, via sources, we know that there is some sort of movement that is expected on this renaming or rechanging of name, perhaps on official gazettes also, that could happen in that session.
Well, actually, what the government is saying that let's not be too alarmist about it. I mean, both of them, if you go by the constitution, can coexist. It depends on whether you want to use the word India, whether you want to use the word Bharat, but there should be no aversion to the usage of the word Bharat. The Congress seems to have walked into that kind of a trap early this morning when Jairam Ramesh tweeted to object to the fact that the invite from the president has gone in the name of President of Bharat, and thereby he's insinuated two important things. One, this merely shows that BJP being apprehensive and wary about India front and hence aversion to the word India, and second, yet another attempt being made by the government to try and tinker with the constitution and the constitutional conventions as well. Of course, we heard what Rajeev Chandrasekhar had to say. You're seeing the reactions also coming in from the BJP, and more the voices against the usage of the word Bharat in that invite, the more it helps the BJP to build up this narrative that these opposition parties, all of them seem to be having a problem with the idea of India or the idea of Bharat, and therefore they are the ones who are divisive in nature and not us, as we are often being accused of.
Now, this idea of India or the union of states is something that Rahul Gandhi, the Congress party, has often spoken of. It is also one of the issues that they had with the proposal for a one nation, one election as well. That is a controversy that we heard over the last few days. Now, a similar sort of attack coming to the fore from the Congress party as far as this move is concerned. So, that seems to be the central theme of what the Congress wants to push through.
Well, in 2019, if you remember, the main narrative which helped for the BJP was the idea of national security, national interest, and the idea of one. In the last 5 years, as we move towards the next Lok Sabha elections, the BJP has often accused the Congress party, when it's raised issues about China and so on, has accused them of, being against the idea of India and actually speaking in a language which helps our opponents across the border. Just recently, Rahul Gandhi's comments on China evoked his criticism from the BJP that he seems to be defending the Chinese rather than believing his own armed forces. And I'm saying this because every time a voice breaks out against the idea of Bharat or even one nation, one poll, which the BJP and the government says is actually for the larger good of the country, the opposition parties, particularly the India Front plus the Congress party, that is, are being accused of being against, once again, the idea of what is good for our country. I think that could become the poll placard of the BJP for 2024 as well. That, along with the religion, especially with the Sanatan Dharm controversy once again bringing this into the limelight, these are very two potent emotive factors which could work for the favor of the BJP, and certainly they would want to do so.
Right, Pallavi, do stay on with us. We'll continue this conversation as far as the political ramifications of this are concerned and whether or not this can actually happen, legally speaking. But let's also take a listen to some of the reactions that are now pouring in, because it's not just the Congress party. Many others within the opposition as well have now raised objections.
बीजेपी और आरएसएस जो है वो बाबा साहब डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर जी से, इस देश के करोड़ों दलितों से नफरत करती है, उनके मन में घृणा है। और यही कारण है कि बाबा साहब डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर ने लिखा, देश के संविधान की पहली धारा आर्टिकल 1 पढ़िए क्या लिखा हुआ है, इंडिया दैट इज भारत शैल बी ए यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स। ये किसने लिखा है? हमारे संविधान के निर्माता बाबा साहब डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर ने। मैं पूछना चाहता हूं भागवत जी से, इतनी नफरत क्यों है आपको बाबा साहब से? इतनी नफरत क्यों है मोदी जी आपको बाबा साहब डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर से? इस देश के दलितों से इतनी नफरत क्यों करते हैं आप लोग? अगर हमारे संविधान के निर्माता ने पहली धारा संविधान में लिखी इंडिया दैट इज भारत, तो आप उस संविधान को ही बदलना चाहते हैं?
सारा देश ये चाहता है, तमाम कोनों से ये मांग आ रही है और हमारे सम्मानीय राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ के सरसंघ चालक जी ने भी भारत शब्द के लिए उन्होंने अपील किया है कि देश के लोगों को भारत शब्द बोलना चाहिए, दूसरा कोई शब्द नहीं बोलना चाहिए। भारत, इस देश का जो नाम है वो भारत है। और ये जो इंडिया शब्द है अंग्रेजियों ने, उनकी दृष्टि में हम जाहिल कौम थे भारत के लोग, और दुनिया के अंदर जहाँ जहाँ उनको लगता था कि ये जाहिल लोग हैं, अपराधिक प्रवृत्ति के लोग हैं, मूर्ख लोग हैं, ऐसे लोगों को उन्होंने इंडिया शब्द दिया है। ये संविधान में संशोधन करना चाहिए और उसमें भारत शब्द जोड़ना चाहिए।
Controversy there, erupting political fireworks. Arunima and Pallavi are joining us on this broadcast. Arunima, as far as the amendments perhaps that have to be made, legally speaking, how can this be done? Can there be a resolution that be passed in this special session? Can the government make first moves? What exactly is required for a name change like this to happen?
So there's one view that Article 1 of the Constitution already makes provision for Bharat and India both. India, that is Bharat, is what Article 1 Clause 1 says. And therefore this view says that since the name Bharat is already there in the Constitution, the government can just bring about the change by bringing in a resolution and subsequently various executive orders to change official names wherever the word India has been used. For example, if Reserve Bank of India's name is to be changed, or if the Indian Administrative Service, the IAS or the Indian Police Service, if those names are to be changed, then those can be done by relevant orders subsequently. But just to start calling, for example, President of India calling herself President of Bharat in that official invitation for G20, for things like that, one view is that you don't need to bring in any new law, any new amendment. However, they're also pointing out that we'll have to wait and see exactly what the resolution is. If such a resolution is brought about in the special session of Parliament, will it say that, Bharat is the name that India will have? Will the word India cease to exist? Because a similar plea was made in the Supreme Court when Justice Bobde was the Chief Justice of India. A similar plea had been made there saying that the word India be removed from our constitution altogether and provision be made for India to be called only Bharat. So if that is what the government is ultimately proposing, we'll have to wait and see what the wording of that resolution is. Otherwise, if you just want to use Bharat officially and let India remain in the law books just as Bharat remains in the Article 1 of the Constitution, then one of the legal views is that you don't need to bring in any amendment to the statute.
Right, so multiple views.